Welcome to the talk show on Headset News Channel. I'm your host Salim Hassan. Now, there have been a lot of words that are being used off recently because of the lockdown. Words like stay home, stay safe, face mask, hand sanitizer, lockdown, seal down. Well, we have to talk about the tech world, a new word called Zoom. Well, let's talk about today's topic, the Zoom application. A lot of talk has been made and a lot of controversies surrounding this application, which has been the most downloaded application in the recent past due to the coronavirus lockdown across the globe. Now, what is this app all about, and what are its features, and why is it being banned in some of the countries and some of the organizations which use this app? Let's look at that. But just before we go that, please do subscribe our channel for more interesting videos and press the bell icon for more notifications. This app in the recent past has been extensively used for teleconferencing. Due to the lockdown, this app's demand has soared so high that a lot of downloads has happened in the recent weeks. Now, how is this app different from the other apps that are already available from its competitors? The Zoom app is the only app which has got a lot of unrequired attention and controversies in the recent past. Now, its competitors like Microsoft's Teams, Skype, FaceTime, Google Meet, these are its competitors. But how is this particular app different from its peers? Now, let's look at it. Now, all these apps do allow teleconferencing meeting, but up to a maximum of 6 to 8 people at a time. But Zoom app is the only app which is free, downloadable for free users, and it can host up to 60 people at a single meeting time. Now, that's the reason it scores above all the other apps which are there for similar teleconferencing meetings. Now, this app has been hit among some of the educators who have been conducting online classes. Now, it has a very good feature which is very helpful for educators who would like to take online classes for the students. It has features like attentive monitoring. If any of the students who are in the meeting try to click away from anything else what is being taught, it notifies the host of the meet. So this helps the educators to keep track or monitor the students' activities while on the meeting, while delivering their online sessions. Now, the government of Singapore, the schools in Singapore have been using this Zoom application to conduct online classes ever since the coronavirus lockdown had been applied in Singapore. But yes, it has some of the features which holds a potential threat to the users as it breaches a lot of data. Now, what are those features? We will look into it. Now, recently, the government of India, the Defense Minister, Mr. Rajnath Singh, was using the Zoom application to conduct meetings with its government officials. But of late, the Ministry of Home Affairs of Government of India came up with a notification saying that Zoom application is not a safe application to use for day-to-day conducting meetings with government officials. It has given up an advisory, but it has also warned the users to enable certain security features to make sure that this particular app, if it's used, is used on a safe mode basis. Some of the organizations like Google have banned their employees from using these applications on their company laptops because it breaches security. It has serious issues with some of the securities with the lapses in this application. Now, Google has one of the strictest internal security policies which they want their employees to adhere to. So they would not entertain anybody downloading this application for conducting their meetings online. Well, the company has its own application which the employees need to use, and what needs to be done to make sure that there isn't any issues with it. Now there have been reports that the policy of Zoom application is such that it does not allow end-to-end encryption of the meeting sessions. Its data passes through servers situated in China. Now, this leads to hacking, and there have been instances in some of the schools, like in Singapore, where the government has banned its usage for schools because during the meeting session, the hackers and intruders bombed into the meeting with some obscene messages and pornography materials. Now, this is a serious breach of security which the government and organization have been advising. Now, there's also reports that the Zoom application's traffic is always routed through servers situated in China. Now, as per the Chinese government policy, every company whose data passes through Chinese servers, the Chinese communist government needs to have access to it at any given point of time. So the companies are by default liable to these kind of security breach, because the Chinese laws make sure that they are given access to their servers at any given point of time, which is very risky. That's the reason most of the government organizations are banning this application use. Now, what are the features that you can enable? The government of India has given some advisory to make sure that even if you are using, make sure you keep it on a safe mode so that the data is not breached. Now, earlier, as I said, there have been instances where the meetings were intruded by outsiders. Now, you can avoid that if certain security features if it's enabled in the application. This could be avoided to a certain extent. Now, what are those? We will look into it. Now, if you're using this application on a web browser or an application, what you need to make sure that is, earlier, if the link to the meeting is sent, anybody who has the link could access the meeting. So that way, the security could be breached. Now, what is the best way to avoid that is to have a unique ID and a password. And only those with those unique ID and password can get into the meeting session. This will enable intruders or hackers from getting into the meeting session and disrupting it. The second most thing is having a virtual waiting room and not allowing the users to enter before the host of the meeting is in the meeting itself. Meaning, the host enters the meeting first, and the others who enter before the host need to wait in the virtual meeting room so that they do not have access to it. Once the virtual waiting room is full, the host of the meeting can open the access to all of them to enter into meeting. Now, this enables that only genuine users and the intended attendees attend the meeting. So this ensures that there is no intruders into the meeting. Another interesting thing which the users can do is, especially the host of the meeting has control over sharing of screen and also ensuring that whosoever misbehaves or does not adhere to the etiquettes of the meeting, he could be thrown out, or probably he could be made to wait in the virtual meeting room if he does not adhere to the guidelines in the meeting. So the host has all the authority to let anybody in or make anybody exit the room if they do not adhere to the guidelines. So this makes a controllable thing without having access to outsiders into the meeting. The third is lock it up. This session, I would say, is very important, because even if those with those unique IDs and passwords cannot enter the meeting if they have not if the host of the meeting decides to lock up the meeting, just like as you lock up a meeting room when all the attendees are there in the room, you just lock it up from inside so that nobody from outside can enter the meeting room. Similarly, the host of the meeting can do the same, where even if the person with the unique ID and password had it, he could not enter it at a later point of time, and the permission is only granted by the host of the meeting. So this enables that the meeting is safe and secure, and those who have been attending this meeting do not misbehave, because they could be thrown out at any point of time. So this is what the government advises, and this is the safest way for the users who are using this application. So make sure you follow these guidelines to use this application to maximize its utilization during the lockdown period of time, and make sure you stay home, stay safe, and you conduct your business as usual. So that's it for now. For more interesting videos, please watch out for our notification, click on the bell icon and subscribe to our channel. Thanks a lot. You have a good day.